So, last time, guys, we ranked Voldemort's 7 Horcruxes in the best order, from which was going to keep him alive longest to which was the worst idea he ever had. Well, I also said something I think was pretty controversial. Harry Potter being the best Horcrux. Now, I know why it's insane to believe that Harry Potter is in fact the best Horcrux. I mean, he is his primary foil. There was a prophecy that said Harry Potter, or Neville Longbottom, would destroy Voldemort forever. And yet, Harry Potter could have been the greatest strength Voldemort ever had he just realized it. And I'm going to start proving it right now. So, do you remember this scene in the Chamber of Secrets?
What are you doing? Stop! No!
Yeah, well, that scene proves two crucial things as far as this theory is concerned. Number one is established fact. Horcruxes are destroyable by basilisk venom, as Harry stabs the basilisk fang into Tom Riddle's diary, therefore killing Tom Riddle and destroying the first Horcrux that Voldemort ever created. However, a simple problem arises from this. Harry was stabbed with basilisk venom. Yet, he still had a Horcrux inside of him 5 years later when that secret is finally revealed. Now, many of you might be thinking that maybe Phoenix Tears cured the Horcrux, but I don't think so. I think there's more to this theory. Now, granted, when I first noticed that, I just thought maybe it was a plot hole. But no, I think it is perhaps the greatest example of just how special Harry Potter was. You see, it's established in the 7th book that Harry is not your typical Horcrux. Voldemort never intended to make a Horcrux. His soul being as shattered as it was, plus the fact that he was hit with the killing curse, was what made another small piece of his soul go into Harry, which created a problem. Voldemort didn't know about the Horcrux, or it's accepted that he didn't believe about the Horcrux. But you need to understand one thing. Harry, although not your typical Horcrux, still has a piece of Voldemort's soul in him. Sure, with a real Horcrux, spells have to be performed, enchantments have to be put on the magical item you're putting the Horcrux into. But the fact is, piece of Voldemort now resides in Harry. And since he isn't destroyed by the basilisk venom, we have to assume that there's something even more special about Harry Potter. Now, let's think about all the different ways we know how to destroy Horcrux. 1. Basilisk venom. This is how the majority of the Horcruxes are destroyed, either by basilisk's fangs, similar to the diary or the cup, or the sword, which has absorbed basilisk venom inside of it, similar to the way the locket and Nagini are destroyed. But, other than that, there are 2 ways that we see to destroy a Horcrux. One is the fire, which destroys the diadem, and the other one, although never shown, or maybe it was, is remorse. It says, specifically in Book 6, that in order for the creator of a Horcrux to destroy a Horcrux is to be remorseful for their actions, be upset and angry about what they did, and try to mend their soul back. It is apparently one of the most painful ideas ever. More painful than basically anything that the 7 Harry Potter books could throw at us. So, why mention that if we can never see it happen? I think, in fact, that we do. You see, remorse is obviously what destroyed the actual Horcrux in Harry. Voldemort had remorse for the fact that Harry seemed to beat him at every turn. Maybe he didn't realize it, but he was remorseful for that night, for that Halloween when he showed up at Harry's house the first time. Oh yes, he was very remorseful because it took away his body and it made him weaker. He had to start all the way over back at square one in book 5 because of it. He was remorseful for the Horcrux inside of Harry. So when Harry goes and confronts Voldemort, boom, Horcrux dead. And we do know, in fact, that the Horcrux does die, as that little child thing in King's Cross Station is believed to be a piece of Voldemort's soul. And if it's not a piece of Voldemort's soul, what is it? But now we know for a fact that Harry was a Horcrux. He could not be destroyed by other Horcrux means, and remorse was the only thing stopping him from remaining a Horcrux. How does this make him the ultimate Horcrux? Well, because if Voldemort had realized it and let Harry live, how would Voldemort ever die? Harry could be the only Horcrux left. And if Voldemort had realized that, he could have just let Harry live as a Horcrux, and Harry could do nothing to stop it. Being stabbed by basilisk venom didn't work. I doubt that that fire thing would have worked either. Harry couldn't die except for at the hand of Voldemort. The prophecy itself said so. And if Voldemort isn't willing to kill Harry, thereby getting rid of the part of Voldemort in him, Voldemort cannot die. Sure, you may still see the problem with the fact that Harry now has a piece of Voldemort's soul and can see into Voldemort's mind because of it. But you have to remember that Voldemort has proven he is much superior at controlling his openness and closeness of his mind, and begins using occlumency against Harry starting in Half-Blood Prince. However, he reopens the connection in Book 7 because he becomes frustrated, he becomes worried, and it is at that point when Harry can take advantage of it. But does it really matter? Because until Voldemort himself casts the blow that would eventually kill Harry, therefore part of Voldemort's soul, Voldemort can't die. Harry casts the Avada Kedavra curse at Voldemort and it hits him, but guess what? Voldemort lives just like he did on that Halloween night because there is still a piece of his soul residing in Harry. And there is one crucial point to this that I have not yet mentioned. George Orwell once wrote a book called 1984. It's pretty iconic and it scares people even to this day because parts of it have basically become truth. In it, there is a giant government called the Party, and the Party has a primary foil called Emmanuel Goldstein. He is somebody who doesn't like the Party. He wants things to go back to the way they used to be before the Party gained control. So, the Party uses him as the great enemy. However, it's questionable as to whether or not Goldstein even exists at all. It's as if the Party created him, so that they could use Goldstein as a means to seek out anybody who also believed that things should be different from the way that the Party runs them. The reason I bring this up is because Harry, in this instance, could be Goldstein, a figurehead with no actual power. Everybody has already accepted the fact that Harry Potter is the final hope to destroy Voldemort by the time Book 6 comes around. Voldemort, if he were to realize that Harry is a Horcrux, uses this power and uses this knowledge, and he lets Harry live. Harry lives out as part of a resistance forever, leading, hoping, making people believe that one day things can get better. But as long as Voldemort himself never decides to kill Harry, they can't be. They won't be. Harry Potter becomes a figurehead for a movement that can never succeed in its goal. That is why I realized Harry Potter is the best Horcrux ever. So what do you think? Do you think Harry is the best Horcrux? Let me know in the comment section below, and see you next time.